Bonjour. We're going to look at activities in Liste 5.1, 5.1, and we're going to start with exercise 7, Qui va où? It says, Ces enfants vont aux endroits différents. These children are going to different places. Remplis les vides, fill in the voids or blanks. En écrivant, in writing où ils vont, where they're going. An adjectif pour les décrire logiquement, an adjective to describe them logically, et une phrase verbale pour dire pourquoi ils y vont, and a verb phrase to say where they're going. So we're going to start with Salome here. She'll be our example. So Salome va à, it looks like a party. So I'm going to say Salome va à une fête. Oops. It looks like une fête d'anniversaire, so we can say that if we want. Don't have to. Parce que c'est une fille, because she is a girl. What adjective do we want to use to describe her? Sociable. I don't know if that was on your first page, sociable. Let's see. Well, it's going to take me forever to look through that. Anyways, I'm going to use sociable. I can't remember what adjectives you know off the top of my head. Qui, and then we're just going to describe her in one more phrase. So she's a sociable girl who, and we're going to finish up the rest of that sentence, who aime le gâteau, who likes cake. That's an example of what you could say. You could also say something like qui veut donner des gâteaux, or, excuse me, des cadeaux, who wants to give gifts, or qui adore être avec ses amis, who loves being with her friends. So you have a lot of liberty in how you answer all of these. You're choosing an adjective to describe them based on where they're going, and then finish the sentence. Make sure that your verb is conjugated in the third person. So who likes cake, who wants to give. So notice that I conjugated it so that it's ultimately referring to her. Salome. C'est bon? This one is supposed to be, I forget if it's on your list or if it's on the list before, un zoo, which is a zoo. This one is supposed to be la bibliothèque, and you know the cinéma, the musée, la piscine. This one could be au parc. Yeah. All right. Next, we're going to look at activité wheat. It's labeled wheat. This packet is so out of order. De qui parle-t-on? Of whom are we speaking? So Louis and Lur, you just learned in your lesson, refer to indirect objects. So il, and elle all refer to the subjects, right? Choose the person who the people... Choisis la personne... choose the person or the people to whom they're referring. So the thing in bold, I assume. Number 1, it says, tu leur envoies des emails pour annuler une commande. You send to them an email or some emails to cancel commands. I would say this is not your friends, but maybe Amazon vendors. Yeah, it's got to be this one, the Amazon vendors. D'accord. Okay. Let's do another one just in case you're unsure of what you're doing here. So number 2, it says, on lui pose beaucoup de questions. One to him poses lots of questions. Well, that could be your friends, right? No, it cannot. Why? Think about that. It cannot be your friends because leur refers to a group of people, lui refers to him or her. So could it be your mother? Yeah, it could. Or it could be le prof de français. I'm going to say that it's probably D, le prof de français. D'accord? All right, numéro 9, quel pronom indirect? Which indirect object pronoun? Write the name of the... Écris le pronom de l'objet indirect qui peut Remplacer la phrase soulignée. So you're going to write the indirect object pronoun that can replace the underlined phrase. So your choices are me, te, lui, nous, vous, and leur. Those are the only options. Let's see. Ce film fait peur à ma petite sœur. This film makes fear, or in other words, scares, to my little sister. Makes fear to my little sister. That's how you say it, scares her. So since it's to her and it's just one person, I'm going to say ce film lui fait peur. This film scares her. C'est bon? Yeah, I think that one's easy. I think you'll be fine there. Numéro 10, it says réécris la phrase, rewrite the phrase. Souligne les objets indirects dans chaque phrase. Underline the indirect objects in each phrase. Puis réécris la phrase avec le pronom de l'objet direct, lui ou leur. So you're just using lui or leur here. We're going to start by underlining the indirect object in the first sentence. In French, it's pretty obvious because usually there will be a there. Sometimes pour, but usually a. Because it's something you're giving to someone or sending to someone typically. So the first one is it says, I'm sending a card to my cousin. The indirect object phrase is à ma cousine. D'accord? Now we're going to rewrite the sentence using lui or leur, but this one's going to be lui because it's to my cousin. So, je lui envoie une carte. I, to him, send a card. Yeah, I think you'll be good in this one. I think that's fine. Use the English to help you out. 11, méli-mélo. You know what to do here. You're going to do this just like you did in the notes. So rearrange the sentence. So she's talking to him about school. Elle. Now, even though talking is next in English, we want to say elle lui parle. She to him speaks. De l'école. Okay, this one's a little bit harder because the do is separate from the école. So you might see some things like that. But yeah, I have every faith. Just circle ones if you have questions and you can ask me in class. All right. Numéro 12, tes habitudes. Réponds aux questions sur tes habitudes en phrase complète. Respond to the questions on your habits in complete sentences. Try and use the indirect object that corresponds to the thing in the question. So, number 1, it says, est-ce que tu téléphones souvent à ton meilleur ami? Do you often call to your best friend or telephone to your best friend? The best way to answer this is using lui, right? Je lui téléphone. I to him phone. Or, je ne lui téléphone pas. One of those two. Let me just look over the questions real quick. I can give you a little translation if you need. So, number 2, do you resemble to your parents? In other words, do you look like your parents? And notice in French they say, do you resemble to? So, je leur ressemble or je ne leur ressemble pas. Number 3, do you respond to your French teacher? Je lui réponds, je ne lui réponds pas, etc. Number 4, do you give money to people? Number 5, must you explain problems to your friends? Must you explain your problems to your friends? Okay. I must explain to them or I mustn't. 6, do you like to please two people? So in French they say you please two people or you, instead of do you please people. So let's do this as an example of modal ones. Je veux leur plaire. I want to them be pleasing. D'accord? Or je ne veux pas leur plaire. I don't want to them be pleasing. D'accord? Do you obey to your principal, Mr. Siesto? Again, a weird one that they say, do you obey to someone? And then 8, do you like to make acquaintance to your teachers? In other words, do you like to get to know your teachers? Okay. Yeah. Okay, I think that's good. So let me know if you have any questions.